What if the scariest answer to the question, are we alone, is no? What if something keeps taking out anyone who dared to find out? Imagine a forest at night. Every creature armed and every sound you make could get you killed. Now imagine that forest is the universe, and the creatures are other intelligent forms of life. The first to make a sound broadcasts their location and is marked for extermination. That, in essence, is the dark forest theory. In 1950, Enrico Fermi looked at the universe with its incredibly massive scale and how anciently old it is, and asked a very simple but important question: where are they? They, in this case, being extraterrestrial life, with the unimaginably old age of the universe and its massive scale that contains uncountable planets. Even if a fraction of a percent of those planets were harboring intelligent life, we would still be left with a very noisy universe. And yet, we remain alone. This observation is known as the Fermi Paradox. The dark forest theory is an attempt at explaining why we don't see evidence of alien life and why all extraterrestrials have refrained from contacting us. It is an explanation as to why the universe is so silent. This becomes all the more eerie when you ask the question, why are they hiding? Or more importantly, what are they hiding from? If the universe is teeming with life but is still eerily quiet, it would only mean that everyone intelligent enough is hiding from something. What if each civilization comes to the realization that other intelligent forms of life that are possibly billions of years ahead of them are listening and are hostile? Why would they be hostile, you ask? Well, simply because they are paranoid. Let me explain. They see budding intelligence on a planet and they see a potential threat that could one day be their annihilation. So to them, snuffing out that young intelligence would be a way to secure a future for their species. So any species naive enough to transmit their location by means of communication are unwittingly inviting extinction. This theory not only supports that alien life is everywhere, but that there are numerous highly advanced civilizations constantly monitoring the universe for other signs of life. The truly scary part is that most of these other civilizations have opted to completely hide themselves and basically turn off their transmitters in fear of what attention they could attract from the depths of space. So let's take a closer look at the three options a semi-advanced species has and see if they could be used to explain why the universe, or in our case, the forest, is so silent. Let's say you are an advanced alien species and you receive a transmission from a little blue planet on one of the arms of the Milky Way galaxy. Of course, the first thing you'd assume about the civilization is that it is a very young one, not to know the oldest rule of the universe. So you weigh your options. The first option is that you could just attack them in a preemptive strike, so that it's just one less civilization to worry about. But this option is quite a gamble because it could be a trap to draw out civilizations that are quick to violence made by an alien species that's billions of years ahead of you in terms of technological advancement, which would mean annihilation or subjugation for your less advanced species. Not really the smartest choice. The second choice you have is to answer their call and attempt to form some sort of alliance, which apart from it still being a possible trap, would be of no benefit to you since the other civilization is clearly very young, that they have not yet discovered a way to transmit their messages faster. Making you wait decades or even centuries before you can hear from them again seems harmless, but the drawbacks seems to outweigh the positives. The third option you have is that you could pretend you never saw the message and go about your day, which would result in a big nothing happening. But there is also a risk in this isolation tactic because it ensures that your species will have little chance for growth beyond your spawn point, so to say. We can take humanity as an example of how this would be detrimental to advancement as a species if our ancestors decided to stay in one place for the sake of safety. But you could also argue that increasing the chance of getting mugged by stepping out of your house is different from the increased chance of getting scammed when you decide to answer the call of an unknown number. So, which one do you think would be the most probable explanation on why the universe is so silent? Why our cosmic neighbors refuse to answer our calls? Or maybe there aren't any cosmic neighbors left to answer any calls. The reason I have come to accept as to why there is no one answering or calling is that there is no one to pick up the phone in the first place, because everyone who answered or sent a call has been wiped out. So what I believe is that there are a handful of very old, very ancient, and very advanced species of aliens who are at least type 3 on the Kardashev scale. These are species who harness energy on the level of billions of star systems up to a whole galaxy level. And what they have been doing is eliminating competition for billions of years. It could also be that their expansion is on such an unimaginably large scale that they don't even register other intelligent life. Like a farmer plowing his farm, being unconcerned over how many bugs he crushes under his boot. Or maybe you find the idea of being alone in this vast universe a more frightening prospect. Tell me what you think. This is me signing off.